Internationally, before we go now over in Spain, that's right, with Real Madrid currently lead the charge with Bilbao in second place. But what will happen this coming match day as we return from the international break? We'll get into that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It's all about match number 4, that's right, in Spain, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, you want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, La Liga, world football, we're going to all here under one rooski, that's right. Only 2 clubs have got a perfect record over in Spain heading into match number 4. Who are they? Well, I've already told you, but we'll get into it in a second. Again, if you're new, smash your subscribe, and a big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. So we're going to look forward now to match number 4, but we'll do a quick recap of what went on last time around. So here we go. Recap of the results, of course. All right, quick recap of what went on last time around. Of course, my predictions on the left-hand side. The real deal is on the right. So here we go. Kick it all off with a 2-0 win for Elche. That's right, over Levante. I don't think I did good this time over in Spain, but we'll have a look at it anyway. So Valencia 3-0 winners over Getafe. I went with a 2-1 win. Alavés with a score draw against Atlético Madrid, who have started pretty bad in Spain. Oviedo with a 1-0 win over Marboys. I went the other way. Goodness gracious me. Girona also losing to Sevilla. That's right. Again, I went with the hosts, of course. Real Madrid did their thing. 2-1 winners over Mallorca. Celta Vigo with a 1-1 scoreline against Villarreal. Again, I went with the away win. Betis losing at home to Atlético Bilbao. I went with the draw. Espanyol, though, with a 1-0 win over Osasuna as predicted. And Vallecano with a massive draw against Barcelona. And of course, taking some points off the Champions, of course. But this is the table as we head into it. It is Real Madrid 3 for 3, as is Athletic Bilbao, both sitting on top of the tree there with 9 points out of a possible 9. Villarreal, Barcelona, and Espanyol also undefeated, as are Elche, who've started off pretty good in La Liga, of course. We are doing a prediction league. Super Brew is live. Get involved with that. I'm not going to give you an update right here, right now, because I am on the road and it is a little bit difficult to, of course, flip-flop between screens over here. So we're going to keep on going and look forward to those next. What did that say? Did that say? It says Portsmouth. Portsmouth in there. La Liga, Portsmouth. Alrighty then, folks. Let's get into the next set of games, and these are those. We're going to jump in the deep end and go through them one by one. We're going to start with a trip to Sevilla. That'll open it all up on the 12th of September. That's right. These two sides will lock horns at the Ramon Sajuaz Piguan. Coming at you this coming 12th of September. Matías Almeida is the coach for Sevilla, sitting 12th right now with just 1 win in the last 4 matches. Up against Elche, Eda Sariba is the coach there, sitting in 7th with 5 points for them. They have played each other 14 times since 1997. 8 wins Sevilla, just 1 for Elche. There's been 5 draws, including the last time that these two sides played in Elche. It was a score draw way back in May 2023. Previously, last season, 3-0 win as it was for Sevilla back in January 2023. When I say last season, I mean a couple of seasons back. It was a 3-0 win for Sevilla. Sevilla did win against Girona most recently. Elche crashed out. Well, actually, a bit of friendly. At a friendly against Murcia, they did lose that game. We have basic odds on this one. Of course, the basic odds go in favour of Sevilla for the victory here. And I'm going to go with the same way. That's right. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Sevilla. Next up, we have Getafe. They're taking on Oviedo. The Coliseum Alfonso Perez. They have played 6 times in 2002. 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. Getafe sits 6th right now with 6 points for them up against Oviedo, who are 15th with 3 points. Now, the last time that these two sides played at Getafe, it was a 1-1 scoreline. It was a friendly. It was back in July 2025. But competitively, the last time that these two sides played in Getafe was a 2-1 win for Getafe back in September 2016. That was in the Segundo Division. Getafe losing to Valencia most recently 3-0. Oviedo with that cheeky 1-0 win over Marboys. That is Sociedad. Bookies, they'll go with Getafe for the favourite here. I think I'm going with a 1-1 scoreline to, I think Oviedo will be happy with that points return as of right now. Levante. They're next up on my list. They're taking on Real Betis. That's actually on the 14th of September at the Cudiat de Valencia. Levante with Julian Calero, the coach there, with sitting in 19th right now. No points for them so far. There's Real Betis and Emmanuel Pellegrini, who are 8th with 5 points. Now, they've played 28 times since 2001. 10 wins for Levante. There's been 14 wins for Real Betis, and there's been 4 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 4-2 win for Real Betis back in February 2022. 6 goals in that one. In fact, the last 3 between these two sides. All ended up being Real Betis victories. There's been a 12 goals scored, averaging, 4 goals a game? Goodness gracious me. Levante with a 2-0 loss against Elche most recently, and Real Betis losing to Bilbao, of course. The away side will be favoured for the W on this one, and that's the way I'm going as well. 2-0 winners. Real Betis taking the points. Celta Vigo also in action, also on Sunday, the 14th of September, at the Estadio Balaídos. Claudio Geraldes, the coach there for Celta Vigo, sitting in 14th right now, up against Girona, who of course sitting rock bottom, no points to the name. 4 defeats on the spin. They played 19 times since 2008, 7 wins Celta Vigo, 6 wins Girona. There's been 6 draws between the two sides, including the last 2 matches between each other. Of course, in Girona, and most recently back in September 2024 in Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo also on the back of 3 successive draws. Goodness gracious me. Yet to get a win, but they've also got 3 draws on the bounce. Girona, just the 1 goal scored in this current La Liga campaign. Tight one on the bookies on this one. They do go Celta Vigo for this. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well to put some more pressure on Girona. Let's go. Athletic Madrid, they're taking on Villarreal in one of the games of the round at the Metropolitano. Atletico under Diego Simeone, they sit 16th right now, 2 points to the name, and that's on back-to-back draws. Villarreal, though, under Marcelino, they sit 3rd, 7 points, just 1 defeat in the last 6 all competitions. Now they played 48 times since 1998. We've got 16 wins apiece and 16 draws, including the last 2. That's, of course, in the Metropolitano back in January 2025, and, of course, in Villarreal back in August. In the reverse of match day number 1 last season. Back-to-back 1-1s for Atletico, drawing with Elche and most recently against Alavés. Villarreal also on the back of a draw against Celta Vigo. The odds for this one, they'll go with Atletico Madrid on this one. I'm going to go with the win as well. Going in favour of the bookies, I'm going with 2-0 win to give themselves a big old boost. Meanwhile, we're going to go Barcelona. That's right, they are in action against Valencia in the game of the round. Come out the Estadio Olympic Luis Companys. Barcelona under Hansi Flick, they sit 4th right now and beaten the last 6, but they're coming into on the back of a draw up against Valencia under Carlos Corbejan, who are a 9th with 4 points, who have won 1, lost 1, and drawn 1 so far this season. They played 74 times, these two clubs, since 1993. 41 wins for Barcelona. There's been 14 wins. Valencia has been 19 draws. Their last time they played at Barcelona, it was a 7-1 win for Barcelona back in January 2025. Barcelona did draw with Vallecano most recently. That was on the road. Valencia with a 3-0 win over Getafe most recently. The bookies will go with Barcelona, red-hot favourites. I've gone with goals in it, though. 5 in it, 3-2 winners. Going in favour of Barcelona. Let's go to Bilbao now as they take on Alavés. That's right, coming out to the San Mams. Ernesto Valverde are 2nd right now. Currently finding themselves with 9 points of a possible 9 up against Alavés under Eduardo Coudet. They played 32 times since 1999. 17 wins for Bilbao, 7 wins for Alavés. There's been 8 draws. They last played back in May 2025 as a 1-0 win for Bilbao at the San Mams. Bilbao playing a friendly most recently. Of course, they did lose that, but in the league, they're coming into on the back of that 2-1 over Real Betis. Meanwhile, Alavés coming into on the back of that score draw against Madrid. Bilbao expected to win this one with the bookies. I'm also going with a 1-0 win for Bilbao on this one. Into the final 3 is Sociedad. That's Marboys. They're taking on Real Madrid. Another game of the round right there. Coming out to the Real Arena. Sergio Francesco is the coach there for Sociedad. They have got 16th at the table. 2 points for them out of the possible 9. Up against Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso. 4 wins on the bounce. 3 wins out of 3 in the league. They played each other 62 times since 1993. 13 wins. Sociedad, 36 wins. Madrid, that's Real Madrid, and 13 draws. They last played at the Real Arena as a 1-0 win for Real Madrid. It was in February 2025 with the Copa del Rey. The last time they played in the league at this arena, it was a 2-0 win for Real Madrid back in September. But Real Madrid are unbeaten. They won 5 of the last 6. They've got a 4-4 draw in there in the last 6 between these two sides. Sociedad losing to Oviedo last time around. Real Madrid with that 2-1 win over Mallorca. Madrid expected to win this game, even it to be in the way dug. I've gone with a 4-2, another goal bonanza here, as Real Madrid extend their lead, or at least remain tip at the top of the table in the La Liga. Moving forward, we're going to go to Osasuna now as they take on Vallecano. Goodness gracious me, that's coming out to the Estadio El Sadar. Osasuna with Alessio Lischi, the coach there. They've won 3, lost 3 over the last 6 up against Vallecano. Igno Perez, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played 31 times since 1993. 11 wins apiece and 9 draws. They last played played over at Osasuna. It did also end up all square, 1-1. That's back in January 2025. Osasuna on the back of that 1-0 loss to Espanyol. Vallecano picking up that amazing draw against Barcelona. Bookies for this one will find it difficult, but they go in favour of the host. That's Osasuna. I've gone with the visitors 4-1. Don't know where I've got that one from, but I'm going with it. And then finally, wrap it all up with Espanyol. They take on Mallorca. That's coming at you on Monday, the 15th of Feb. Coming to the RCD Stadium. Of course, Manuel Gonzalez is the coach there. 5th at the table, 7 points for them. Unbeaten in the last 6. So because Mallorca and the Jaguaro Agreste, they are winless in the last 3. They're down to 18th with just the 1 point. They played 18 times since 1997. 18 wins apiece, 7 draws. They last played in Espanyol. 2-1 winners it was for the hosts back in October 2024. Bookie, well, actually, Espanyol on the back of that 1-0 win over Osasuna. Mallorca did lose to Real Madrid. The bookies will go with Espanyol. They've started off well here, and I think they'll get another one. 2-1 winners, Espanyol. If I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, Real Madrid will remain top of the pops with Athletic Bilbao joint alongside them with a perfect record. Espanyol will be up there into 3rd, Villarreal in 4th. Barcelona drop out into 7th place. Going down, Girona, Mallorca, and my boys, Sociedad. But it is still very, very early days, and of course, don't forget, the Prediction League is live. Get involved with that, and of course, I'll bring you back up to date when we return for the next round of games in Spain. That's it. Until then, subscribe. I'll see you later. Keep on predicting. Do your thing, and I'll see you soon when we return.